Hello, beautiful soul family. Welcome into your reading today. Hope you're having an amazing day as per usual. The energy seems really good today, seems pretty high. We're going to see what comes through. If you are new to tarot or to readings at all, please do use your discernment. If something doesn't resonate with you, leave it behind for whoever it belongs to. Okay. Yeah, I just want to say thank you for being here today. Thank you for contributing your energy, your spirit, your everything in the collective. You guys are amazing. So, shout out to you. All right. So, we're going to get started with the tarot today. I was told to just do some tarot and see how that goes. I'm not going to do a spread. I know that a lot of people who are learning tarot use a spread. However, I instinctively feel as though it may be easier for me to learn tarot through, well, get a better understanding of tarot. Oh, there's our first card. Through just going with the flow and seeing what stories come out. So, we're going to see what this is. We have the Eight of Wands. That took me a moment. All right, and it's in reverse. So, all right. So apparently, some things you may be feeling as though some things are being delayed. There may be a little frustration going on in the collective, maybe in your personal life, maybe finances, something is going on. But it looks as though there are nerves involved in this as well. So you might be feeling anxious, you might be feeling despair or even desperation, I heard. And I'm not sure what this is all about, so let's just get a little more on that. Okay. All right, so we've got the Two of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, there's three cards here. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna read one at a time. All right, so the Two of Cups here. So that's emotion, that's partnership, that's it could be proposal, marriage, connection, but it's unification. So you can take that as it resonates for you. This could be within yourself, or this could be with somebody else, with a partner. I'm actually just going to pull this card down here and then I'll put them in order as I usually do. But this could be reunifying with a piece of yourself, with a part of yourself, or with somebody else if that seems to resonate with you. So that may mean that your luck is changing with regards to situations that have caused you with this justice card here. Actually, I'm just going to go right into it. I'm not even going to read each card individual. Okay, so it seems as though that there have been a lot of delays. There has been a lot of frustration. There has been a lot of waiting, maybe patiently, and maybe you're losing your patience at this time because this card is in reverse. So that whatever is leaving your life could leave you feeling a little destabilized at this time, right? Which is why panic or anxiety might be disheveling you somewhat. However, what I'm getting here is that this era is beginning to come to a close as you reunify either with yourself or you're getting set up to unify with love. And this doesn't just have to be a partner. I'm seeing it more as the concept of feeling, getting in touch with the feeling of love. Things are beginning to change because you are becoming more grounded in that sense of love. And that sense of love comes from within first, but then it also expands to everything else in your reality. And I know in that last reading, we were talking a lot about that. Like, what we didn't talk about this, but like, what is loving to you? Loving to you, when you're loving yourself, it can come in uncomfortable ways, right? It can come in lessons that make us have to learn how to stand up for ourselves or how to have boundaries or how to protect ourselves or protect those that are vulnerable or love comes in a lot of different kinds of ways. And you know the universe is our teacher, source is our teacher for that. And Earth School is our teacher for that. And sometimes we have to go through difficult situations in order for us to find that self-empowerment or to realize the lesson, to learn the lesson, right, of what that means for us. So that love then expands outwards and creates justice and fairness. So when I see justice here, um, I do see that the wheels of fortune are changing with regards to reciprocation. And it's because you're learning to love yourself, right? You're actually pulling from a part of yourself that perhaps felt disempowered. And you're reclaiming your self empowerment through love. And this is showing your inner child, showing aspects of you that you love and you will support and you will protect that part of you, right? By whatever means was necessary for you to learn this lesson, whatever situation you've been put in or placed in by the universe, realizing that it is within your control to change that situation, right? It is within your control to lift yourself out of whatever position you've been placed in. And because you are learning this lesson or you're understanding what the lesson is itself, this is creating justice for you. This is bringing in more truth, more clarity, because you're actually recognizing the truth of what that is. And in this situation, it seems as though it's love, right? So that's amazing. That's really great. I mean, who doesn't want their fortune to change? And I'm not talking about financial, right? Because abundance and finances improve when we finally start improving our viewpoint and our understanding, or maybe our belief systems about what is loving to us, right? So there's been a shift for sure in the collective. And this has also come in, I heard, with this new timeline because we did quantum shift into a new timeline as a collective, as a whole already, with this last eclipse that just happened. And today is kind of one of those days of solidifying energies and things that you no longer want to hold on to. It's time to purge those out, right? That was something that was discussed in that solar eclipse reading that I did do not too long ago. That it's really a time to purge out anything that is no longer serving you or your highest good. I mean, within reason, whatever you can do, because um, this we're like today, I believe today is the ninth. Yes, okay. Today is 9/9. It's the 9/9 portal. So being that this is a year of completion, nines are a year of like completion, closing the door to old cycles. This represents to me that there have been a lot of cycles regarding love, regarding relationships and situations in your past that perhaps felt very troubling, very disturbing, or very difficult to move through. And it seems as though, as a collective, we're starting to finally let go of the last ties. And if you're not, this is your indication to really go in. If there's anything that you need to grieve, grieve it. If there's anything you still have yet to process, process it. If you have yet to start forgiving the person or people from your past, including yourself, make sure you're doing that because this is what's going to change this wheel of fortune in your favor. It's going to sway it in your favor. And it looks like this energy is already moving in that direction. So we're moving from a place of stagnancy, of being stuck, of difficulty, yeah, like I'm really getting stagnant energy into taking action on what's important to yourself, right? Moving in the direction of self-love once more. Maybe some of you have stalled in your progress, and I mean, we all do it. I'm guilty of it too. Hey, I'm human. So yeah, this is really a positive message that's coming through. All right. So what is the question now? Is there a question? No, I just heard keep going. Just see what comes up. Okay. You know, that last reading that I did was actually the first time I've done a reading with tarot. I have only really ever just pulled a couple of cards or sometimes tried to pull more but didn't understand it. And it went, I think, pretty well. So, um, yeah, I'm pretty excited that I'm going to be using tarot, just tarot today to see how things go. I was a little nervous, I'm not going to lie. I was a bit nervous today. Um, yeah, because I haven't actually like used them. And so my spirit guides were like, yeah, but the best way to learn is to actually use them and incorporate it. And, yes, study the book that you have and all of the information, the symbols and the signs and greater understandings, but also start using them. So, yeah, that's what we're doing here. Okay, so we've got strength and we've got the Knight of Cups. Okay. So cups represent emotions, and knights, well, pages are like the youngest energy in the deck. They're kind of like a childlike energy or immature energy. But knights are step up from that, right? So let's see here. What do we have? What is the message? Thanks for your patience while I'm pausing. Okay. All right. Okay. So back to the original message and incorporating this. This is really about you deciding to take control of your emotions, take control of the aspects of you that have been wavering back and forth, or maybe that have not just emotions, but your thoughts, right? Because your thoughts are what eventually trigger your emotions. So you're taking charge. You're taking charge of the way in which you view or perceive your reality, your world, through perhaps putting an end to old ways of being, old negative beliefs, old emotions. Because this in itself, what it's telling me is it's taking a lot of strength and courage for you to really put your foot down and say no more. I'm tired of this. I'm fed up with this. This is not what I am meant to be doing. This is not how I'm meant to be living. This is not what I deserve. I deserve better, right? So, what this symbolizes to me is that you are taking charge of those parts of yourself by stopping or maybe preventing these thoughts as they come up, or deleting them, or clearing or canceling before they turn into something more emotional. But it's requiring a lot of strength on your behalf. Requiring a lot of mental acuity, I just heard as well, for you to actually be the interception between your thoughts and your emotions, right? And so, but what's happening is that when you are doing this, if you are doing this or you're not yet, you're being encouraged to do so. What's happening is that it's igniting that passion within you, right? And that passion is what leads you to see, or leads you to new opportunities and new discoveries, and new doors for growth and evolution, and for ideas, and for creativity, and for your imagination to come back online, because it seems to me that that may have been stagnant for some time. And so there is an aspect of you that has become weary or fed up with status quo, with living in the way that you were living previously. And that could be your whole life. That could just be one area of your life. It could be with your ideas of love itself. right? Whether that's towards yourself or another. It could be about your finances, it could be about your career or your direction or how you show up in the world or how you align yourself or how you take care of your family or your pet family, right? Um, or how you show up within relationships with friends, right? It could be anything, could be your spiritual side. What I'm seeing here, though, is that this energy here is leading into a place where you can claim justice for yourself because you're clearing out. I'm going to swear here, so if you don't like swears, this is your moment to skip ahead for a moment. You're clearing out all the bullshit, okay? You're clearing it out. You're like, no, no, you don't belong here. That's a lie. That's not true. That was false. That was somebody else's belief. That was somebody else's programming. I don't believe this anymore. Okay? You're clearing it out. And this leads to this revival of a part of you that has been dormant for so long, right? It's the part of you that is imaginative, creative, that sees the beauty in everything, which when you appreciate all that beauty in the world, when you appreciate all of the abundance that's already around you, it leads to more. But if you're not able to see that beauty, even if you're just living out of your car, if you're not able to see that you have a roof over your head, that you have a set of clothing on your back, that you have maybe shoes or, you know what I mean? That you have food or whatever it is for you. If you're not able to see that and be grateful for it, then you cannot unlock this energy, right? And so this comes back to this love. It comes back to the more love and energy you put into yourself, the more love and energy and gratitude that you put out into the universe, the more love that you project even to those who have harmed you in the past or yourself, more forgiveness, like forgiving yourself or others that you express, the more you want others to heal, like even the people who've hurt you, the more you express how much love and joy and energy and um, healing that you want them to experience, the more you're going to experience as well. It's what you're putting out. And I think that this has required you to be put in a situation where you were stagnant, where you were stuck because you weren't understanding that that was the lesson that you needed to step up into the right direction to um, learn something about yourself and what it means to be loving, a loving human being, and all encompassing, not just within yourself, but within the world. So I'm really seeing like leadership qualities here being recognized within yourself. And because of that, as you align more and more with this energy of love, you get to then reclaim your own life, your own empowerment. But not only that, abundance, right? You create justice for yourself without needing justice to be served to anyone or anything who has caused you harm in the past. It's like a refocusing of all of your energy. And it seems to me that you're dumping that back into yourself. But again, it's required you to release a lot. It's required a lot of strength and patience and courage to really just harness that energy. And that energy of love it's water, right? And we've got cups here too. It's it's fluid. And if you have blocks to it because you're stagnant, or you're not seeing the lesson, or you're not recognizing your own value, or your own capacity, or your own strengths to create your own future because of whatever limiting beliefs you picked up as a child, then that's going to prevent you from moving forward. And I know I've been going through my own limiting beliefs because at some point I missed some core beliefs, and it took me a while over the last 2 days to get down to what they were. And I was really surprised. They went back down to my to infancy, and they were controlling my life because I couldn't find those ones. I didn't take care of them, and I too got stagnant in an area of my life. So I get it. And we're all going through this in different ways um, throughout our lives, right? But this energy is coming in now to light that fire under your butt and give you that additional strength, actually. And it's going to open your eyes to seeing the beauty in the world. Because when you love yourself, you're able to allow to receive more, right? And that's what this energy is trying to do. It's trying to show you something, it's trying to illuminate something to you. Let's just ask a question. What else is it trying to illuminate to the collective, this energy? Okay, we're going to take this one because it was trying to fall out. The lovers, yeah, it's confirmation. So, hmm, yeah, okay. This is a take it as it fits for you card, okay? But I'm gonna say this two ways because there's two things coming in and it depends on where you are on your journey, all right? So take it with a grain of salt. If you are not ready for a relationship because you're still in the midst of trying to get away from one or toxic people, or you are in the middle of thinking about leaving, this first part does not resonate for you, okay? But what you are preparing for here, for those of you who've been on the path for a long time, is your high level soulmate. And so you need to first learn how to love yourself fully, which means getting down to those core beliefs, which were created by core wounds. And they're the hardest to get to sometimes. uh, but what this is leading to is unification between two people. Okay. And maybe you're never interested, like maybe you're at this point still in your journey where you're not ready for that, or you think that you'd never want that again. I can assure you that that might change because I thought that for a long time too. Um, but we as human beings, we're social, right? We want people in our lives. So it doesn't have to be a high level soulmate that you are romantically, oh, I didn't realize they were nude, that you are romantically involved with. This could just mean, I'll put the lighter there. This could just mean your soul family as well, right? High level soulmates come in the form of friends, mentors, support communities like this one, guides, and it also comes in the form of romantic relationships. So, what you are striving for is reunification with a high level soulmate or soulmates, your soul tribe, your community. And this is this energy that you've been working on, which you may not understand um, why you've been working in that. I mean, other than, how do I put that? You understand now that you're working on self love for you, right? This is all for you, but it opens the door, right? It changes the wheel of fortune to go in your direction, uh, which spreads again to all areas of your life. And that includes preparing yourself and being prepared for the entry into communities, again, relationships of all kinds, even careers and jobs that are higher level, because you can have a business or business partner or a career boss who is high level soulmate, that, you know, this whole path is all, it's all tied together. And once you reach a certain stage in your development, then it opens the doorways to these new situations, these new possibilities, right? Um, Partnerships. And I don't even know how many times I've said passion, but passion has come up a few times here. But it's about you meeting those, yeah, a lighter on there. Seems weird. I don't have my crystals with me. It's about you aligning yourself with those who share the same values as you, share the same beliefs, maybe, well, maybe not beliefs, but beliefs about future, about spirituality, you're in alignment with those things. That's what you're getting into alignment with right now. And it's going to continue, I just heard, it's going to continue to take strength to get into alignment with that. Okay? Now, this could be a romantic situation, and it may not be. It may just be, like I said, just being in alignment with a high level soulmate who's platonic. And for those of you who don't resonate with that, the other thing that did come through was that this is reunification, kind of coming back to this with yourself, right? This is the end of a certain level of struggle for all of you, right? And disharmony and feeling as though things aren't fair. Moving into this energy of loving yourself. Okay, so it's about seeing your potential, um, seeing the love that exists for yourself, or learning the love for yourself, learning how to treat yourself, learning how to love yourself, learning how valuable you are, learning your worth. And I'll share something a little personal here because I feel called to. Maybe this is to help somebody. I've struggled with eating addictions, and eating behaviors my whole life, whether it was not enough, or whether it was eating things that weren't good for me, or whether it was eating things like gluten when I shouldn't be eating gluten, you know? I struggled with that for my whole life, and despite all of the work that I did on that and getting away from it, and I thought I had healed it, it came back with a lot of additional trauma, right? And exhaustion. And what I realized more recently was that I didn't get to the core of it, as I mentioned, and it stemmed from um, being an infant, like newborn, all the way on into my life, but it stemmed even from the very get-go that I had a belief that I wasn't worth being fed. And that's a terrible belief, if you ask me. It's terrible in the sense that it's disheartening, right? But I missed that. I understood what had happened throughout my life, but I wasn't able to get down to the core belief I thought I had, right? And so until you until you come to this realization of what is really at the root of your suffering, of your addiction, of your problem, it's really hard to just change it. It's like bypassing, right? You can't bypass it. It'll just keep coming back. It'll just keep coming back. It'll just keep coming back. And so because I felt as though I wasn't worth being fed, that is how I treated myself. And even though rationally I was telling myself and instilling new beliefs that I was worth having proper nutritious food, or taking care of my body, or feeding myself to nourish my body, um, it still wasn't in alignment with my core beliefs. It still wasn't in alignment with the energy of those wounds no matter how much work I did on the wounds themselves, no matter how much healing I did, or the installation of new beliefs, it didn't matter because there was still that core belief that I wasn't worthy of being fed, let alone being fed nutritious food. So that was for somebody, but I think that is for somebody who is, well, that could be for all of you. I don't know. Take it as it resonates for you, but I get a strong feeling that there is somebody in the collective who is learning these aspects of self and where to look within for these things. And I know for me, I had to sit down and I spent the last part of or the most part of the last 2 days going through certain belief systems over and over. Well, not the same beliefs that were coming up, but just going down and down and down and down and down. And I wrote pages and pages and pages, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a lot to clear here. But the reason I did that was because some of them I already knew, they were familiar, and they didn't disappear because I didn't get to the core root. You see? So you have to keep going back, 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 and do it as you have time. I mean, nobody expects a miracle out of anybody, let alone me, right? But you keep going back until you get as far back as you possibly can. And then you might be surprised and you might even be hurt. I was a little hurt and saddened by that belief, but I found it, and that's the goal. That's the objective, right? That's what your work is to uncover the beliefs and clear them out and to reinstill these new beliefs so that you can finally let go of that attachment because it's about attachments. You're attached to the beliefs, you're attached to the programs that you're operating in, to the behaviors, to the conditioning, to the addictions, to whatever it is, to the emotions. It's all about attachments. And unfortunately, a lot of us have, developed a lot of unhealthy attachments. And again, no fault of yours, because most of these you picked up between the age of 0 and 7, when your brain was a little sponge. Okay, what else? What else would they like to share here? Okay, so we've got the Emperor and Temperance in reverse. Okay, so yeah, okay. Hmm. So the Emperor is really about well, respect, leadership, that was coming up as I was channeling. Stability, creating structure for yourself, creating rules. So, creating healthy rules and boundaries for yourself. And that kind of came up with this energy before about saying no to those thoughts, saying no to those beliefs, like putting your foot down. I'm no longer going to obey by this old conditioning. I'm no longer going to allow that to manifest my life for me. I'm no longer going to deal with this situation anymore. I'm done. Sorry, this is the energy that's coming up. It might seem a little bit aggressive because, I'm also in this energy. I'm going through it too in my own ways. So there's aspects of my life that I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. So I can totally relate. But yeah, it's what I'm getting here is because temperance in reverse is about imbalances, excess, extremes, overindulgence, alcoholism, and addictions, self-healing and realignment, right? And we were just talking about all these attachments. We were just talking about addictions. And so the emperor comes in and is like this energy, right? You can flip the roles as you see fit. If you're female, you're the empress. If you are male, you're the emperor. But this energy of respecting yourself, of leadership, stability, creating that for yourself, figuring out how that is going to look, and also putting an end to these mechanisms that you were living by, bringing an end to the imbalances, bringing an end to the overindulgence in things, like recognizing that that is harmful, but you can't change that until you change your core belief, until you find it. What's causing it? You know, you can't change that until you find it. So it's really important that you understand that this strength that is coming, that the strength that you are building, um, it's a inner strength within you, but I do get the feeling as though there is an energy that is also coming in for some of you, that is tied to this lovers, to the lover cards, right? That is also filled with this energy, who's already overcome a lot of these same issues, who may be um, who may want to help you either energetically or with understanding or just support. This is your job to resolve these things, right? There may be an energy or a person coming in to help you with that, or this could be in the spiritual realm. I just heard too for some of you. So this could be a grandfather for some of you, somebody who or even a father figure if that resonates for you, somebody who is wise, who carries a lot of wisdom, who's coming in to help support you in removing these imbalances or healing these imbalances, because that's what it really is. It's about understanding where you're out of alignment and rebalancing the scales for yourself. Justice, right? Rebalancing your own life by saying no, creating rules and structures and new value systems around what you value, what you want to give your time to, what you want to give your energy to, what you can create otherwise without having those things in your life. And again, take it one thing at a time if you need to, or if you're capable, do it all at one time. But it's this energy of the emperor is really coming up to create structure, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a person. It could be one of your guides in the spiritual, but it could also just be the energy that you have harnessed within yourself to overcome these things, to create more willpower, I just heard, within yourself, because your confidence will grow as long as you stick to the boundaries and the rules that you've created for yourself, or that you are creating or you're going to create for yourself, and you follow that, you abide by your own rules for yourself, right? So what that looks like is, like, if you're used to just going about your day and you don't have certain rules. Let's use technology for instance. So let's say that you want more time to put into your spiritual work or into your healing work or into exercise or eating better, but you're telling yourself, I don't have time for that. I'm already so busy. But then you spend your night, the last 3 hours of your night sitting on the couch watching TV, and then you crawl into bed with your phone and you start scrolling past your bedtime, which leaves you tired and exhausted for the next day. And then you continue this cycle. And then you tell yourself and the rest of the world that you don't have time to put into writing a book or creating something or learning something or putting time into you, right? So then this emperor energy comes in, and how it's utilized is by setting rules for yourself, boundaries for yourself. If you know that you are doom scrolling at the end of the night or watching past your bedtime, then you need to implement something like, okay, I have a timer on my internet, or I'm going to turn off my phone 2 hours before bedtime, or whatever it is, so that I don't do this. But then it's up to you to utilize this emperor energy, this strength, and to respect yourself. Know that like when you're doing this, this is out of respect and love for yourself, right? So to put rules in place that will alter your life, even if it's one structure at a time, even if it's one boundary and healthy rule for yourself at a time. Maybe you want to get up earlier, but because you're staying up watching TV for so long, you can't. And then you tell yourself, I'm not a morning person because you wake up exhausted every day, right? So look at these areas of your life, set rules in place, and this is going to help you to remove the imbalances, whatever the imbalances look like for you. And it'll also help you remain in control of any addictive behaviors or overindulgent behaviors. Um, and keep you more in balance because we're talking about being in extremes, right? And so you want to walk this middle path. And in order to do that, you're going to have to utilize this energy of the emperor and be your own leader, be your own protector, be your own authority. You know, it's about developing discipline. And that's necessary on this path. It's absolutely necessary. And, again, I'm not coming down on anybody because I have fallen prey to my own issues as well and learn from them. So can you. All right. So we're at 41 minutes. Any advice for the viewer? The moon. Illusion, mystery, dreams, intuition, fear, anxiety, subconscious premonitions. Okay. I'm going to get another one on that since this is advice. Right there. Okay. Death. Okay. So we've got some endings and beginnings, change, transformation, transition, metamorphosis, end of cycle. All right. So what I'm getting here is that with the moon, I mean, the moon is often representing the unconscious, right? So the things that we've been doing to work on autopilot, the excuses we've been making, as we just talked about, the belief structures, the limitations we've placed on ourselves, they may have come from programming in our childhood, but they may have also come from past relationships that we've been in. And that could be platonic, work, or romantic, right? But your advice is to go into the unconscious states within yourself to break down any illusions, all of these things that you've been telling yourself that aren't possible, all those beliefs, all the excuses you make for why you can't change, why you can't let go. Um, and to also, because it represents fear and anxiety, there is a lot that creates, and that's what we were talking about before, is this feeling of anxiety, fear because of the unknown or because things are getting shaken up. Because the energy is moving now, right? You've been stagnant for a while, and now that you've said, okay, universe, I'm ready, then the universe, is shaking things up too. Or the universe came in and shook things up to get you moving, one or the other. Take it as it resonates for you. But um, your advice is to go deep and to reveal to yourself the truth of what's been lying in the shadows, what's been hiding in the subconscious, and to end that, to finally bring a close to it by revealing it to yourself. And the only way to do that is to take that time to examine why you feel certain ways or where you feel things within your body when you think of something or a belief comes up or a person reaches out or your boss asks you to, stay late. Uh, where do you feel it in your body? Is it in your solar plexus? Is it in your chest? Is it in your throat? I need some water. Hold on. As I said, throat. That's funny. Cool. And then go a level deeper. Okay? What is this trying to tell me? Why do I feel anxious? Why do I actually feel scared? And keep going until you can't go any further back because your ego, the protective mechanisms around you are trying to keep you sheltered from going deep within. And when that happens, then you can't get to the source of it. You can't get to the core beliefs or core wounds that are associated with this fear or this anxiety or um, the the blocks that you might be feeling, right? Because your ego is pretty much casting illusions around you, and it's making it very hard for you to see clearly or use your intuition or trust your intuition because fear is still present, anxiety is still present. So you need to get to the core of that and figure out what's at the root of that, what's really causing that, and bring an end to it, because it's these endings. Every time that you let go of these things, um, whether it is a core belief or a wound or trauma or, you know, suffering or holding on to resentment or anger or pain or just sadness. When you get to the core of it, it's what allows you to actually see and discover um, how that ties into whatever imbalances or attachments that you currently have. And so you're being asked to explore your depths, go deep, go into your subconscious. What is buried there? Command that part of yourself to come forward and be revealed, and allow those parts to be removed and ensure that you are working with all aspects of yourself while in the process so that you can bring in this new transformative energy, these new beginnings. And I can tell you that when I started letting go of beliefs back in the day, I felt really light. Every time that I let go of a whole bunch. When I started, every time that I purged trauma and I like wailed and cried and let it all out for, well, the first part of my spiritual awakening, that's all it was about. Journaling and revisiting the traumas and the past and wailing for days on end. But afterwards, because I released it, it allowed more space for light and transformation and a different energy and frequency to enter my body, right? And so that's your advice is to get in there, go deep, use this energy wisely, I heard, wisely as it's coming in to transform your life by understanding how to restructure your life and utilizing it to go in, to empower you to go in and bring an end. Like now, especially, I just heard, being that it's 9/9 today, it'll be very important for you to close chapters of your life as quickly as you can. So I would choose the most important things, like if it's a relationship or it's the end of cycles of, say, ABUSE, or it's the end of addictions, or it's the end of financial struggle, or it's the end of struggle, period. You know, your advice is to go in really deeply today and reveal that truth to yourself so that you can change it, you can let go. And that's going to invite in the energy of this new beginning, of this new energy of transformation, really. That's beautiful. All right. Um, yeah, you know what? I was going to do a closing message with the tarot, but I'm going to do a closing message with the Dreaming of You Shaman Oracle deck, which is by Roger Metz. All right, closing message for the collective, please. I have to say, this has been different, but fun using tarot. And I'm connecting with the cards very intuitively. So if you're a reader of tarot yourself, um, feel free to leave your own interpretations of these cards in the comment section below. I don't mind at all. What is the closing message or your final message for the collective? Please and thank you, Spirit. Oh, already. I'm not sure how to say that. Guanga? Guanga, I think. All right, let's read it. And that is number 32. Actually, I'm going to call out all the numbers afterwards and the signs for you. Okay. Buenga, direction. Buenga Shaman is telling you that it is time to move beyond an obstacle by seeing something as its opposite. Flip your perception and begin dreaming again for a new angle or from a new angle. Do something unconventional and peculiar to distract your old ways. Allow the inner sensing of your heart to guide you, to be your compass, your friend, and support system as you follow the direction of your original dream. And if you haven't been dreaming, start dreaming again. Yeah, that's that stagnant energy, right? Um, Direction is a funny thing. It's funny how we are taught that our direction comes from an external marker. However, what we do when the direction we seek, or however, what do we do when the direction we seek isn't physical? What happens when the correct path forward feels wrong? What if the most obvious signs have been leading you in circles? And what do you do when that circle is making us spin like a wobbly top or a jackstone? The jackstone seems to have originated all over the world simultaneously. It is almost like, or it is most likely, can't talk today. It is most likely arrived from a learning shaman who practiced bone divination and had a visionary thought of what if? Yeah. How can what was change into what if we commit ourselves only to what we think is right and wrong? Okay, let me reread that. How can what was change into what can be if we commit ourselves only to what we think is right and wrong? Are you committed to keeping what is the same out of comfort? What if wrong is right and right is wrong? What will you do when your dreams or when your dream is only accessible by doing something extraordinarily unconventional? What then? Will you choose to see upside down as right side up? What happens when love is hate and hate is love? And the one you hate only appears that way because you are resistant to opening an old love wound. It is time to redream how you are dreaming. There really are no directions or boundaries to what you can dream, except the ones you accept as truth. Yeah, this card's exactly what we're talking about, hey? That's awesome. There are many questions to ask yourself with the arrival of this shaman, but the most important key here is to commit to doing things differently so that your dream can thrive and arrive in its greatest and most commanding form. All right, that really sums up the whole reading very beautifully, and touches on a lot of points that we talked about here. I do feel called to get a couple. Which one? These ones? No, these. These. Okay, okay, okay. A couple more messages for you. All right, messages of support for the collective, please. Okay, yeah, that one, and then that one. Okay. The pause is the shift. Your past is now behind you. All you desire is right in front of you. Pause to reconnect with your power and follow the pull of your destiny. Yep, that was definitely a big shift that we went through, right? Letting go of the old, out with the old, in with the new. Okay, forge a new path. When you make new choices, you create new results. Let go of old patterns and embrace the power of possibility. You are fully supported. Yeah. So I know that myself, I've had to change a few things that have been coming up, like I can't or impossible. Those small words really make a huge impact in how we view the world, right? So even just small things, letting those go and seeing possibility like what if, or in the future I will, or instead of saying I can't, say like changing it so that it is a possibility in whatever way you need to change the structure of your thoughts and your words, and maybe your own energy and what you embody. Authenticity attracts. Being authentic attracts the right people and repels the wrong ones. When you stay true, you naturally filter out those who don't align with your path. So true. Okay. We have some water, and then I'm going to grab a few animal spirit messages. Okay. Let's ask Boenga Shaman. Boenga Shaman, which animal spirits do you send towards the collective today? Whoop, whoa, that was, like a lot of cards. So which one? Top? That, pardon me. Middle? Okay. That one? Any more? Bottom. All right. Yeah. Okay, well, that makes sense. So we've got revealer of truth. I mean, we're talking about revealing the truth to ourselves, right? Digging into the subconscious. Coyote. Hmm. Don't take things too seriously. Make time to play. Great wisdom comes from laughing at your own folly. Look out for the traps and tricks of life and learn from them. That one here. Keeper of secrets. Lynx. Take time out of the world and be the observer. Nothing can deceive you when you trust your knowledge. You see other secrets and keep them sacred. In silence and solitude, you will find your strength. visionary, giraffe. Hold on, I need I need to clear the energy here. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that is definitely tied to that card. Uh, okay. That it's really hard to even connect to this energy without choking up. Okay, so there is a need to keep your moves silent as well. I just heard. Ooh. There are certain things that you're working on or directions you're moving in that you need to keep silent from everyone as much as you can. Okay. So there's certain aspects of your life that are happening right now that you need to keep under wraps. Keep your, yeah. Oh, geez. Something's really after my throat here. Oh, that's intense. You definitely need to protect your next moves, your visions, right? Visionary. Your next moves, your visions for your future, your decisions, your choices, the things you have planned. You need to keep that to yourself until you've done it or until you have created that or gotten into that role or that position or whatever it is. Even if it's just, it seems irrelevant. Whatever moves or decisions you're thinking about or plans that you have, keep it under wraps. Okay? That needed to come out. Mhm. Yeah. All right. I'm feeling better though. That was a big attack on my throat. Hmm. Giraffe, rise above earthly matters. Yeah. Glide through life with grace. You are able to see the right path. Stand tall in your self-worth and love with a big heart. Oh, I just got goosebumps. Yeah, what were we just talking about? Like it's the path to self-worth, path to love by standing in your empowerment, right? And taking action on it and deciding no more. I'm done. Mm-mm. Nope. Thanks, but no. Nope on a rope. Thanks very much, but I'll pass. Okay. And we are going to get a couple of these badass affirmations. Again, if you don't like swearing, you may want to tune out now, or if you have littles in your environment, put your headphones on, pause the video, come back to it later. It's up to you. For those of you who do not mind swearing, there are swears on these cards. So okay. Yeah, and this sums it up too. I will not be an asshole to myself. I will not be an asshole to myself anymore. You know, and sometimes we don't realize we're the ones who are stagnating ourselves, right? We're the ones keeping ourselves stuck until we realize, and then we're like, oh crap, it was me the whole time. Um, yeah, yeah. The best shit happens outside of my comfort zone. The best shit happens outside of my comfort zone. Feel free to pause the video and write these down if you want. I don't mind, not at all. These are your affirmations for the day. And we're going to close the reading with one Rumi card. Need to balance all this blur with some softness. I guess there's creativity in here, you know. Rumi was such a beautiful poet. I should say is because we're all connected to that energy and soul still exists. Exists. All right. If, hold on. Hmm. If all the poisons in the world are poured in us, they are dissolved in the sweetness of our soul. And what are these beliefs? What are these constructs? What are they? What are all of the traumas and the pains that we've experienced in our lives? They're the poison. Other people's negative beliefs and constructs and ways of being are the poison. But we don't have to take that on for ourselves, right? We get to decide. It's the beauty of being an adult. It's the beauty of an awakening. That's the beauty of choice and free will. We get to decide. And when we allow our hearts to open up again and for love to pass through for ourselves and for others, we allow all of that poison to simply dissolve in the presence of love. Beautiful. I have goosebumps. Oh, apparently my guides liked that. That one was from me, not my guides. So, yeah, I guess that's the end of the reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if it resonated with you, please give me a thumbs up. Help your girl out here. It does really help my algorithm so that I can reach more people and get the messages out and grow our beautiful community here, our soul family, a place where we can, all connect together as one and feel safe and, yeah, level up together. Anyhow, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe and join that beautiful community that I was just talking about. Um, for those of you returning, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for your presence here. So grateful for your contributions to the channel as well and to the energy exchange between us. I love you all very much. I hope you have an amazing and blessed day, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.